There's a common misconception that younger generations aren't interested in homeownership. Many people point to the fact that millennials put off purchasing their first home as a reason for this belief. However, Odeta Kushi, the Deputy Chief Economist for First American, explains why millennials have put off certain milestones linked to homeownership. Those delays led to their homeownership rates trailing slightly behind older generations. Historically, millennials have delayed the critical lifestyle choices often linked to buying a first home, including getting married and having children, in order to further their education. This is clear in a cross-generational comparison of homeownership rates, which show millennials lagging their generational predecessors. So, it's partially true that some millennials have waited for homeownership to focus on other things in their lives, and that's impacting certain housing markets. However, data from the National Association of Realtors indicates that the average age of a first-time homebuyer is higher today than it's been over the past 40 years. These homebuyers today are purchasing their homes on an average of 4 years later than people in the 1980s and the early 90s. Just because millennials are hitting certain milestones later in their life doesn't mean that they're not interested in buying a home. These recent U.S. Census reveals a significant increase in home ownership rates for millennials and other young homebuyer millennials that are entering the market in full force. And their share of the market is growing. Based on the data and belief that younger generations don't want to buy homes is a misconception. In fact, the recent Capital Market Outlook report from Merrill Lynch further drives home this point, as it specifically mentions this effect millennials are having on the demand. It says demand is very strong because the biggest demographic cohort in history is moving through the household formation and peak home buying stages of its life cycle. Kushi is following the trend of millennials with homeownership that puts it more simply by saying it's clear that younger households, the millennials, are driving home ownership growth. And as the largest generation, millennials' impact on the market is growing at a more and more people from that generation reach home buying age. And Generation Z is not far behind either. That means younger generations will likely continue to drive demand in the housing market for years to come. The bottom line, if you're a member of a younger generation and you're interested in purchasing a home, you're not alone. Many of your peers are on their path to home ownership also. So let's connect today and we can discuss what I can do for you to help you accomplish your home buying goals.